Okay, so first off, yes, I am in my closet. I have like 6 kids at my house now, so this is the only place I can get to get quiet. But when the Lord blesses me in such a way that He's blessed me today, I I've got to share. I've got to share what's going on. So first off, I want to start by saying that just it's funny that I just shared these a few days ago about my friends because had I these godly connections that I have made recently as a major, major, major part in what happened today. So, backstory is, and it's worth the watch, I promise. And, you can't tell me that God is not real because He's done stuff like this for me all the time. And I have finally got me a little notebook so I can write down every time the Lord blesses me in such a way that I just cannot deny that it was Him. So, most of y'all know that I am in the middle of trying to get my foster care license. Unless you go to church with me, you don't know that we pretty much already have our kids lined up that are going to come in once we get licensed. I won't go into that. But, I just shared on my story this, just a picture of this book. I missed church Sunday night a few Sundays ago because I was sick as a dog. And apparently I missed where one of the ladies gave a testimony about this. And so they talked about it Wednesday night, not this past Wednesday, but Wednesday before that. And I was like, yeah, so-and-so. Anyway, a lady, I went and talked to her, said, so, what's all this about? And she said, yeah. And this is a 21-day financial fast. She told me about this book. And I knew immediately I had to get it because the Lord has been dealing with me. Oh, He's been dealing with me on a lot of stuff. Just really shaking and stirring a lot in my life recently. And one of the things He's been dealing with me is being a better steward of what I've been given in my finances because I've not been very wise in the way I've been managing our money. The Lord just immediately, this is something I got to do. So, in doing this, the woman who recommended it to me, she said, you can't do this by yourself, so what I want you to do is read this every day. And as soon as you get done reading it, message me. Let's talk about it. Everything we talk about stays in between the two of us, and I trust her greatly. So, today's reading is day 6, and it's about contentment. And, I was talking to her about that. I was like, this hit me harder than probably most everything else so far because I struggle with this. I think we all struggle with this. The last couple weeks, I've not struggled with it as much because God is really just reshaping. And, man, he's just incredible. But I still do struggle with contentment. And I told her, I said, right now we live in a 3-bedroom house. It's really never been big enough for us, to be honest. But now that we are down to technically 2 kids in our house at all times. But we've signed up to foster. So, I said, I would love to have a bigger house. I'd love to have a bigger vehicle. Not because I want them, but because if I have a bigger vehicle, I have a bigger house, we can take in more kids. I absolutely do not want a bigger house payment. I absolutely do not want a car payment. Right now, I have no car payment on either of my vehicles because they're paid off. And my Camry, if that thing is at 260,000 miles, if it would keep trucking, I would drive it till the wheels fell off. I would literally drive it forever. I'm not that type of person who has to have a nice, shiny new vehicle. That stuff has never bothered me. I've never been turn my nose up at the idea of driving a minivan. Like, yeah, get over yourself. It's functional. I'm all about practical and functional. Like, come on. Anyway, would love to have a minivan, but the gas mileage on the things, unless it's a new Sienna. Nevertheless, get off subject. So, I message her and I tell her about this. I tell her what I'm dealing with. And so we talk about it and we kind of finish the conversation, it appears. Well, in the middle of that, another woman messages me and is like, hey, because I had posted last night asking about asking about a box spring, a twin box spring, because we've got the twin bed, we've got the frame, we've got the headboard. And I got the frame for $20 a few weeks ago. I got the headboard for like $12. It's this really nice headboard, and I redid it, repainted it. Took a whole weekend to repaint that and paint another bed we already have. All I needed was a twin box spring, and those, it's crazy. I'm like, I'm gonna spend double or triple on the box spring because we already had the mattress. I'm gonna spend like triple that as I did all the rest of this stuff. I was like, I'm kind of thrifty. We'll use that word, thrifty. And so I kept waiting to see if maybe one would pop up on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. But I was like, you know what? I've really got to just do this. We're right here at the final stages. We'll be having a final walkthrough, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. And I was like, I'm just going to bite the bullet, and it's going to get taken care of this weekend. If I got to go buy it, whatever. So I had posted last night and said, hey, anybody know where I can, sorry, that was probably loud. Anybody know where I can find a twin box spring? Doesn't cost an arm and leg. I said arm and leg. Apparently it auto-corrected to ATM, but we won't talk about that because I'm terrible about proofreading my statuses. Anyway, so another friend of mine that I recently have connected with a lot, she messaged me. She's like, hey, do you have your date for your final walkthrough? Because we'd already been talking about that. She's also, she is a foster mom and's got a lot of kids in her house. And so I said, no, I really, this is what I've got. This is what I need. I'm just ready to get it just done. And so I said, and I was talking about the other kid. I said, and also I need that, but also we really need a toddler bed for them. They could be in a crib, but I really think a toddler bed is better for the way we're going to have it set up. So she said, well, once you get licensed, we've got a little group we can talk to, or you can go through Fostering Hope. Fostering Hope is an organization out of Headland, a little quick plug here, that gets donations and from all, monetary, clothing, all kind of donations that is specifically for families who foster, because you get kids left and right, and you may be swapping out, and they may be in your home for a few days to a week to a month. They may be in your home for years. But, when flip-flopping like that, you get different ages, different genders. I've got, my kids yelling. Anyway, but they completely free help out foster families with clothing and all their other needs. But you have to be licensed. So she said, have you reached out to them? I said, yeah, they told me once I get licensed to reach out. So she said, you know what? Let me just ask this group I'm in. In a matter of minutes, less than 5 minutes, and I could be lying, but it felt like it was immediately. She's like, hey, I got you one. I said, what? Really? And she said, yeah, this lady had a twin box spring, and she said she was just wondering, and I got to talk to her later, and we'll get to that. She said she was just wondering what in the world she was going to do with this box spring. So I was like, she's got like a twin box spring just laying around. And the fact that she was like, just wondering what she's going to do about it. So I'm like really thankful. I was like, all right, Lord, I see you. I see you. Thank you. Thank you for meeting that need. That's amazing. In the middle of that, the woman that I had been talking to about this journey that I'm on, she messaged me and she said, it was a 4-minute little clip, so I'm not going to tell you everything, but I'm going to try to do it justice. She said, I just cannot shake this feeling that I need to tell you something. And I'm going to try not to cry. But she basically was like, when God called you, He equipped you, and He knew everything. And that when He called me, that He knew the house that we would be in. He knew the car I would be driving. And that would be sufficient. And that we should not be, the dream and the vision is big. I know that I'm starting out with these two, but that will not be the end of it. There will be more. But I know that in my mind, I know that that means I really need a bigger house, and a bigger vehicle. But she's like, God knows that, but He's calling you to walk where you are now, that He's equipped with you with what you have now, and that is enough. But He's sufficient. He is faithful. And she said over and over again, and I should have probably listened to it one more time before I did this, but to really give it justice, because I just started crying, because she's like, He is sufficient, and He will provide our needs, and He knows what you needed before you knew what you needed, and He had the answer ready already. And this is all happening at the same time that the box spring thing she told me this before I had a chance to tell her about the box spring thing, because it's all kind of happening at one time. And I'm like a mess, because the box spring by itself, and I if you think about it, who has just the box spring? No one on, you don't usually have the box spring and the mattress, but like they work together. So, I mean, unless you've got like a bunk bed or a trundle bed or something like that, generally you've got to have the box spring and the mattress. But she had just the box spring. And she was literally, because I got a chance to talk to her when I picked it up. And I'll get into that in a minute. I said, it was like the Lord was like, the box spring by itself, that was amazing. What she spoke into my life rings like, it was what the Lord laid on her heart to tell me. That meant a lot to me, and it rang true to me. But then you put them together, it's like the Lord's trying to say, Tabitha, if you don't think I've got this, here you go. And I feel like I'm not doing the story justice, but that's not the end. That's not where it ends. So in this group, she in this group chat that she's in, where she asked about that, there's a friend of mine that's in that group chat. She's also a foster mom. She messaged me individually, and she said, I've got you a toddler bed and mattress here at the house. You can come get it whenever you want. And I was like, what? So those two needs that I had, within a matter of 30 minutes, both of them were taken care of. And when I messaged that girl back, I was like crying, and when I voice messaged her, and she's like, are you okay? What's going on? Like, are you stressed out? Are you overwhelmed? What's going on? And then I tell her the story of how everything happened. And she said, well, let me tell you what's happening on my end. Just today, they have 2 toddler beds. And just today, they were moving the one she wound up giving me. They were moving that one out of the room and moving the twin bed into a room, as a child had transitioned to a twin bed. And she was like, I want to hold on to one, but I don't want to. What am I going to do with this bed? So, literally, the lady I never met before had the box spring, and I got there and picked it up, and she said, yeah, they just moved into this house, and she told me she had a trundle, and so then she had the box spring. She's like, Goodwill won't take mattresses and stuff, so I didn't know what to do with it. And I was like, Lord, what am I going to do with this box spring? Who is going to need just a box spring? I was like, I'm going to need a box spring. And she said, I mean, literally she's like, I wanted to get, this happened all this weekend. I wanted to get rid of this weekend. Listen, I'm not as emotional now as I was earlier today, because I was like, okay, Lord, I see you. But He met the need. He met the need before I knew I needed it. And, He has been working so much in my life that I'm overwhelmed. I'm so overwhelmed. Yesterday, he blessed me so much, and I won't even get into that because that's just that would be a whole nother video. But when you're walking in his will and your heart is after him, he promises to take care of us. If he takes care of the lily in the valley, if he sees the sparrow when he hits the ground, and we are his children, he will take care of us. These things that I'm doing because I love him and I feel like that's what he's called me to do. And like she said, and this is not like a thing. I'm saying when we walk in his will and we give our will up, because that's one of my prayers I've been praying. Listen, if you want to pray a prayer that you know God's going to answer, there's a few of them that he will never say no to. And there's quite a few, probably more than these few I'll say, but Lord, empty me of my will. Empty me of my will. Give me a heart for what? Give me your heart. Break my heart for what breaks yours. Help me to love you more than I love anything else and love others as much as I love myself. He's not going to say no to that. And I've been praying that. I've prayed it for years, but something has broke. And it's like a snowball that is going on in my life. And he has just blessed me. And not because of me. Not because of me, but because he is good. And what he's done for me, he can do for you. And the thing of it is, something he kind of wanted me to grasp today is, one, he said, did I not tell you that I would open the windows of heaven? But also, what he's done for me is grown my faith, because I believed I had a need, and he supplied. But it's not just about me. If anything, it's not as much about me as it is these kids that are going to come into my home. So when I don't usually do this, but like I've been telling everybody that I can, and when the Lord blesses me, he's going to get the glory. And so that is what this video is about. To God be the glory. Give your life over completely to him and say, don't be complacent. Don't be comfortable with sitting in a pew on Sunday morning and living your life the way you want to. I promise it can be scary to go, okay, Lord, get rid of whatever, burn off of me what is holding me back. And it can be scary, but I promise you, when you say, I want you to be Lord of my life, let your will be done in my life, he's going to provide, and it's going to surpass any expectations that you may have. And it is worth every sacrifice that you have to lay down, because this life is fleeting. And everything that we do, there's so many things that we waste our time on that are not worth our time, that won't matter in the end. So many things that we worry about won't matter. In light of eternity, it won't matter. And I'm like, you know what? My time is valuable to me. My money is, I work hard for that. It is valuable to me. Let me not waste it. And guess what? When you invest your time, your money, your energy into the kingdom, that will always return on them. There will always be a return on investment. You will never waste your time, your money, your energy, your prayer, whatever. It will never be wasted when you invest it in the kingdom of God. So I'm going to finish, because I did not intend for this to be a 20-minute video. But I hope that this blessed somebody. And just give your life over to him. Relent, let go of your will and say, Lord, let your will be done in my life. And see what he does. And blessings don't always mean that I'm about to be rich. Blessings come in all shapes and sizes, and needs that being met that are not always monetary. So trust him, give up your will, and say, yes, Lord, do in me whatever it is that you want to do. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, and be blessed.